So recently, we have just gotten the information of the upcoming anniversary for Wuthering Waves. For version 2.3. Really cool stuff. I'm gonna be going through all this. It's a pretty big news thing. It's pretty long. So we're gonna be going through all these things, all these events, all these changes to the game coming in. And kind of give my own opinion about this. So of course we have the brand new event campaign for here, fiery Ap- Epic, I can't pronounce his name, of Summer Reunion. This of course is the the celebratory event for the main event for of course the actual anniversary. Of course, we have Sandy and Zakona, the two anniversary characters for Wuthering Waves. We do have this right here. We have of course the anniversary login. Now granted, this does say like May 23. This is when the game came out, so when the day when the game comes out, we will be getting a free multi and also a free profile picture, which is pretty nice. A nice little profile picture for people who I believe log in on the anniversary day, maybe during the week or maybe during like this version, because I'm pretty sure this is when 2.4 begins, and there is that. So it is what it is. We do have of course the the typical 5 standard, 5 limited pulls. Really cool. I do kind of wish that they would give out more weapon summons, in my opinion, for these login bonuses. But they weapon banners are usually guaranteed pulls no matter what, even if you do summon on them, which is usually really nice. And of course you do have an extra 300 astrite, some nice echo materials right here, 200,000 credits, 100 tunes, and of course we do have this right here, the echo modifier. So we'll talk about that in a bit when we get to there. And of course we have this one right here. We have the QB Derby warm-up event. Participate in the event to win Radiant Tide times 10. Flight aspect, by the way, this is a brand new cosmetic that's going to come out into the game. We also have a brand new skin for the Phantom Chest Mimic, which is really cool. And of course more materials for echoes to start leveling up. Really nice stuff. The new events they're releasing all look fun. I don't think any of them look bad at all. I like all of them. Of course, now we have the skins. Now, personally, in my opinion, I am someone who doesn't find skins to be like I must have them. Mostly because they do cost money. Like these will in fact be probably like 30 or 40 bucks just for one skin. And I mean, no matter how good you make these skins, I'm not wasting 40 or 30 bucks on these skins pretty much, right? It's just not my thing, right? But for people who do like this, this is really nice. I mean, this is a lot of games make a lot of money from skins. Believe it or not, they make a lot of money from just selling skins. So of course, this is something that a lot of people are very happy about. In my opinion, I don't really care. Now we do have the Gilded Night Market. I believe what this sounds like to me is probably like an in-game event. Maybe it's like a once-a-day event or something where it's like you could do a couple missions and exchange items for this. Complete convenient task and activity tags to obtain Night Market tokens, which can be exchanged for the Gilded Night Market for Radiant Tide times 10, modifier times 15, weapon protections, phantom echoes, and more. So pretty cool stuff. Again, I do believe that this is probably gonna be like a once a day, maybe do like waste like 180 wave plates, or maybe like catch like 5 echoes, and then like you can get like maybe like 4 or 5 like the things whatever to get like maybe you could get like maybe it's like a 2 2 of those cost maybe like one Radiant Tide, but we just gotta wait and see what happens on April 29th. And of course you do have updates and upgrades. So the initial top-up bonus is now going to be resetting, which is really nice. This is a really nice thing for people who are light spenders. Maybe someone who spend money on, let's say like Camilla. Like let's say that you spend money on Camilla, or let's say you spent money on I guess like Cantarella, maybe like Chang Li, or if you're someone like me who spent, the only time I spent money on this game, well, besides for Battle Pass, was for Xion, when he first came out. Um, seeing this is really nice, to happen. I do really much appreciate this. I do think that this is like always gonna be a permanent like anniversary thing always. So don't expect this to reset like next month. Like I think this is only going to be resetting once every anniversary, in my opinion. We do have the upgraded returning event now. If you don't play the game for now 60 days, you do get another free multi. So basically, I think I'm not. I don't entirely remember specifically how much Astrite you get specifically from your first returning event. I do think it's a multi, so I do think you're getting about 20 pulls if you don't play the game for 60 days, which honestly is not a bad thing, to be honest, considering that you do need 20, well, not 20, you do need 80 pulls to get one 5-star character guaranteed. So, I mean, 20 pulls isn't a bad thing, but I could totally be wrong. Like, this is just going off my head. I have gotten the returning event once before, but, that it is what it is. So, there's that. But this is pretty cool, for people who probably haven't played the game for, months, and coming back now. So, it is what it is. Upgraded Pioneer Podcast. This is, of course, is the Battle Pass. I know some people might look at this and go, well, I mean, I don't really care about the Battle Pass. I don't find it to be helpful, or well, I don't want to spend, money on the game, which makes sense. Totally understand that. This one right here was actually pretty cool. We do have a web event, Resounding Waves. And during the live stream, they kind of gave us like a whole entire global, perspective on, how many people used Farina's heals, how many people, beat an Inferno Rider. But now we were able to see it ourselves, so, we could probably see, who our most used character is. We could probably see, maybe our most damaging character, maybe, I have no idea. But really cool to see what happens. Of course, we do have the birthday blessing. Now, it's funny how my birthday is a day after Wuthering Waves release, so like this is gonna be pretty cool to get. Almost the same day, sharing the same birthday. But of course, my birthday is a day after, which is it is what it is. But you'll receive a birthday blessing gift. If your birthday has passed when you finish birthday date initial settings, you can still receive the birthday blessings and gift for the current year via in-game mail. I don't think. Okay, so I'm assuming what this is that I'm assuming that even if your birthday had passed, like for example, May 24th is my birthday, like I probably do expect to get this as well. But if I don't get this, I don't really mind if I don't get this, to be honest. But it's what it is. And this right here was actually pretty nice for new players. Basically, they were saying that the the beginner choice convene in the global pre-registration things are going away on May 22nd of 2025. But what they're gonna do now is that for the 5-star convene, they're gonna be putting that behind a beginner's quest, which in my opinion makes this a lot more rewarding, and a lot more as like an actual achievement. Like, hey, I did this quest. I'm assuming probably you probably have to beat maybe like, I don't know, like maybe up to give me one second. I do expect that most it could be up to Dreamless boss, maybe. Maybe this is where you can end up getting your free guaranteed 5-star. Maybe it could be before this. So that is what it is. That's my only guess. I have no idea what they're gonna do for the free 5-star thing for new players. But it is what it is. But anyways, back to here. Of course, cool stuff. And then we have, of course, the continuing on with the the stuff right here. We have the new companion story with Sani. Really cool new story event of Sikona, Citona, Cappuccino, whatever that's the name. Really cool stuff. And of course we have the new permanent event, which is Elusive Realm. And Elusive Realm is for a lot of people, when the game first came out, was everybody's favorite event, and it was like we all love Elusive Realm. And this event coming back is absolutely amazing. It does seem like this event's gonna be completely different. I can actually get the video out right now. So here you have it right here. We of course have the brand new, Fearing Deep. And you can see right here, looks like kind of a really, fun event right here. Um, so, we have different things for here. This kind of does remind me of, Honkai Star Wars Simulated Universe, where there was like, there was different things, like, he was like Swarm, he was, Golden Gears, he was like, that one other event I completely forgot the name of. Like, like Divergent Universe. I do think all these have different things. Of course, this gameplay is completely different, like, it looks cool. I do think that right here, you do in fact get to pick the character you want to get or use. So, and maybe, I'm assuming, oh, okay. So, I'm gonna assume here that you are able to get any character and use them in Elusive Realm. And you can also like get them up. Like maybe they start on Eidolon 1. I mean, maybe they start on only Eidolon 0. Not Eidolon 0. Sequence node up 0. And you can keep getting them over and over again to get them to like, maybe like sequence, 5, maybe, maybe those sectors of weapons or whatever. That's one only guys. But yeah, like you could see like, she's going from this to that. More stats, whatever, more weapon buffs. Of course, we can't be the text because the text are different. So it is what it is. But like, yeah, like I'm assuming that like maybe these are different teams. You can try and do like maybe like certain buffs or whatever. Of course, they are bringing this thing back right here, which is really cool. Haven't seen that since the other Elusive Realm type of event or whatever. But yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff. Of course, we have Crownless, Nightmare Crownless, which looks amazing, and and yeah. So of course, a lot of cool stuff. Very happy this is coming back. There's gonna be a very big event. I'm very happy to see how many times I can play this event. Of course, it happens pretty much 8 days from now. So pretty cool stuff. We have new tactical hologram challenges against Flutius and Lorelei. Lori. I forgot the meme actually. How to put I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Lorelei la. That's I think that's it. Pretty cool. Obviously, of course, like people love to do these bosses. Personally, in my opinion, I suck at this game. I can't beat these bosses, so it is what it is. New Phantom Echoes, so again, cool stuff. And then we have optimizations. Now, of course, we have the Echo aspect, which is of course they changed the appearance of Resident Evil Goliath flight apparatus, which is basically we go all the way up back up to here. If it, yeah, this not this. Where was it? Right here, yeah. There's gonna be a brand new glider skin for us. It looks pretty cool. Maybe I can try and find it here. Give me like 10 seconds. Is it? Right, this is it right here. We can see. Maybe go back a little bit. There we go. Okay, like right here. You can see as we fly, your little confetti thing comes out. It looks pretty cool. Like it looks. I like it a lot. And like I like that we're getting a new skin for our wings because like it is what it is. So going down here, data modification. Now this is going to be the new item that I mentioned before, where we were able to change the main stat of the Echo. Now, to be honest, it's really not like the greatest thing in my opinion. Like it's still really cool. And I mean, granted, we are getting a lot of this, by the way. We're getting about like 20 of these for free, I'm pretty sure. So like we people are able to get like like 20 crit rate, maybe like 20 crit damage, or maybe like some like this can be really good for like energy regen, like maybe like for Brant maybe, because this is, I don't think that this is only locked only towards 4-star echoes, well 4-cost echoes, not 4-star echoes, 4-cost echoes. I'm pretty sure this is able to go to any echo in the game, so this would be pretty cool. More FPS, 120 frames. This is perfectly fine. Of course, it is what it is. No cooldown for boss fights. This is an amazing change. In this game, no longer we have to wait for 2 minutes for a boss to respawn, which is, much more nice. I mean, I would like to play the game and actually fight the boss multiple times than having to go on ahead and, not fight the boss at all. So, there was that. New glossary, which, this is basically just like an updated, glossary thing. It is what it is, nothing too special. And of course, we do have the game resource download optimization, which basically makes the game, much more smaller. Doesn't make the game, like, I think the game right now, I believe it's about 30, I think it's close to 40 gigabytes. So they're trying to optimize it. I know Honkai Star Rail does the same exact thing where they do in fact like delete like you were able to delete like 9 gigabytes from the game, which is like, grant that's a lot of gigabytes, to be honest. For like a game like that, so that's pretty cool. They do give you the option to do it, but in my opinion, I think that should be like a permanent thing. I guess, like, well, I was thinking about, maybe it could be like, like a leaker, not leaker thing. I don't know what I'm talking about, to be honest. Let's just forget it, in my opinion. Of course, we continue on. We have the brand new Resonators, Sani and Sircona. Now, both of them look amazing. Sani looks to be probably, maybe like the best character in the game. Let me do this actually. So, we have full screen. Sani looks like she might be the best character in the game. She might be the best DPS character in the game. I know for every anniversary, usually characters on anniversary are always better than other characters that came up before them. But Wuthering Waves is very interesting because they have not released a single character where they are a absolute must pull, and if you don't have them, the game's going to be terrible for you. The only character, in my opinion, that has that title of a must pull is Shorekeeper. Shorekeeper is the only character in the game that is a must pull, and she is currently out right now. Like, if you are watching this video and, if you want to start playing this game, I highly recommend getting Shorekeeper, because Shorekeeper is going to be, your best partner. She's basically a better Farina, but a lot of these 5 stars, and of course, if you go down to, to the, of course, this thing right here, I'll talk about this in a bit. Every 5 star in the game, doesn't feel like Luster, like, of course, all of them are, pretty good. So, Sani, most likely, will probably be doing the highest damage output out of any 5 star before her. I don't think she's gonna, completely power creep everybody completely, but I do think her damage is gonna be better. And Sircona looks to be a really nice support. She does, in fact, give Spectral Facile, which is something that Sani does need. And she also is an arrow damage buffer, so, I'm definitely pulling for Sircona because, I like using Xion, and she seems to be probably Xion's best support character, in my opinion, right next to Shorekeeper as well. So, it is what it is. So, anyways, as we continue on, of course, Sani and Sircona look amazing. Actually, what's kind of funny is that Sircona is she's a gun wielder, and she's a gauntlet user, but in the animations, they kind of look like not like using, like, I kind of expected Sani to throw some hands. She doesn't do that. And I mean, Sircona getting a pistol is kind of funny because she never shoots with it. She kind of just like, I don't know. I think it's funny actually, but it is what it is. You have all this new weapons, healer weapons, by the way, a gun and a gauntlet. Even though, again, she kind of uses this as her weapon, so, like, it is what it is. And you have this right here. Now, this is where a lot of people kind of come in and, like, oh, like, this is terrible. 10 characters coming back. Oh my god, like, what the hell are they thinking, right? Like, how dare they do this, right? Where, in my opinion, I don't think that this is as bad as a lot of people make it sound like to be. Because, again, every 5 star here, you just need to get them once, and they're good. Like, that's it, right? Now, one thing I will agree on, that this being a 50-50 is horrible. I do not like that at all. I do not like the fact that if this was a regular banner where we could pick, I don't know, let's say Phoebe, and you do 50 summons and you get Phoebe guaranteed, I think this would be perfectly fine. But because that it's the exact same setup as the regular banner, like, I don't find that really nice. I find that to be really annoying, but I don't think that this banner format is horrible, as what some people are saying. And of course, the other game we can compare this to is Honkai Star Rail. And in Honkai Star Rail's case, I think it's, a little bit worse in Honkai Star Rail's case, because in Honkai Star Rail's case, you, majority of the time, you need to get multiple copies of that character for them to be good. Like, E2 Acheron, like, it's just 10 times more better than, like, E0 Acheron, right? Like, even like E1 Acheron doesn't compare to E2 Acheron, right? The same goes for casters. The same goes for, a lot of the characters in this game. Like, look at it in Bibita Lune, like, a character where you needed him at E2 for him to be good. Like Wuthering Graves does not have that, right? Like, they don't have that at all. Like, you don't need Yinlin at E2 to be good. You don't need, like, Shinsi to be E2 for her full damage output. You don't need that at all. Are they better at E2? Yes, they are. Of course, every character will be better with more copies of them. But, you know, I don't think that this is as bad as people saying it is. But I will agree that this not being a guaranteed like selector of, like, let's say again, like, you do 40 pulls and you want to pull for Chang Li, and you don't get Chang Li guaranteed, when that kind of does suck in my opinion. So, and of course the weapons are always guaranteed, so there is that. And of course we have the new event with the cubic and QB event. Really cool. A lot of new QB tribute events pretty much. And yeah, a lot of new events. So, like, I think that is kind of it. Well, except for a couple of things, some merch, and yeah. So one thing they did not talk about in this entire, is it even in here? No, it's not. All right, so right here we have, of course, the Cyberpunk Edge Runners collab happening with Wuthering Waves. Of course, we are gonna be able to see characters from Cyberpunk Edge Runners into Wuthering Waves, which is gonna be really cool to see. Obviously, of course, we probably most likely will see Lucy, David, maybe Rebecca. I don't think Main's gonna be a playable character. Maybe he will be a playable character. I don't expect every character, from Edge Runners to be playable, right? So, but it is what it is. I do expect them to appeal, but I don't expect them to be all be playable. And maybe this could, like, I'm not sure, if this will apply to the Edge Runner story. Maybe it won't apply to Edge Runner story. But so yeah, wait and see what happens. But really cool stuff, right? So, but that is it. That is all the anniversary news. Now, in my opinion, right, with all the anniversary stuff, I don't find it to be as bad as what people make it sound like to be, right? I don't think I am very happy with what we're getting. Now, of course, I'm not trying to be like the bootlicker here, but I do want more, right? I do, like, hopefully, I do know that they had a whole entire anniversary feedback channel that was up for a couple of hours and it kind of went away. So hopefully they know specifically, what people want, and hopefully they do listen. Kuro has in fact listened. They have in fact listened to the feedback before, so most likely we will in fact be getting mostly, in my opinion, I do expect that we will be getting probably more rewards in the future. They may announce something in the future, but it is what it is. But the three things I would actually do, to actually kind of fix this anniversary for a lot of people, in terms of the rewards, because the rewards are by far the biggest culprit. for this whole entire anniversary. Um, and people are saying that that's not enough. And to be honest, there really kind of isn't a lot, to be honest. I mean, I think the max amount of polls is about 43. And like, if I'm looking at like, people talking about, how many polls we're about to get during this entire anniversary, it's something between about 136 polls. And that is if you have the Lunite subscription and if you have the Battle Pass. Without those two things, it's only about 100 polls, which is kind of, to be honest, a little bit disappointing. So, I mean, I do think that, maybe, asking for, maybe, like, two multis could be a pretty good thing. Um, I think the biggest culprit here, in my opinion, is by far this. This right here. I do think that this is a extremely huge culprit in the entire argument of the anniversary. If they just release an announcement saying that we're gonna be changing this banner so that your first character guaranteed is the guaranteed character you want, I think this anniversary would be fixed, to be honest. But maybe someone else has a different opinion. There is something that is asking for too much, which there is. Like, for example, I'm not asking for 100 free summons. I think asking for 100 free summons is a little bit out of hand, in my opinion. I know people think of other gacha games where it's like, well, this other gacha game does 100 free summons, so why could this game do it? And like, I like, if we keep like thinking about that, that's like, it's the exact same thing I had towards the beginning of this game, where this game was so generous, like during the launch, that I was kind of nervous that there'll be one day like in the future where like they don't give out like a big thing and no one's playing it and everybody complains about it, and like, it is what it is. So, but I want to know what you guys think. Um, if you like this anniversary, if you hate it, let me know. Um, I am very excited for Sandy and Sakona. But anyways, that's it. So hope you all have a good day.